they'll be calling you a radicals. Now, who's the newspaper around here? So I reported this yesterday. I didn't know factually that they were tearing down all these Mormon churches, selling off the land to build these cracker box palaces. But the worst paper in the history of the world, which is not a newspaper, the Standard, comes out the next day. You know, they sit around and watch my videos. They've been doing it for years. They're pitiful. So I have lots of connections inside the Mormon church. I'm going to send this to them. So this is important. This has always been controversial, whether to tear down a Mormon church or not. Now, historically in this town, and I can write a book just on the Mormon church architecture. I was the restoration guy in this town for decades. I have thousands of them, many thousands of them. I've worked on so many of these buildings that blow your mind. I've restored so many buildings, including the tree in the Children's Museum. You walk up the thing, the hamper, that's me. That's Laughing Plaster. The 1905 Masonic Temple, not a crew, me. Up and down 20 feet, you can't tell. So, I was the king of using restorated brick, you know, saved, recycled building products, you know, which this brick. So, the brick on this building is exquisite. It's some of the best brick money can buy. You know what one brick goes for? Go try to replace it. You can't. So for years, including the Ogden Mall, when they built the Ogden Mall, when they tore down all those beautiful buildings, one after another, crews went in there and literally, brick by brick. Now, they were supposed to do on the Leslie Hotz and West Weber Elementary that I grew up. I got it written into the contract, but something happened to the way to that place. They threw a nuclear energy flag in my face, just like they did my father's. I was in the LDS. I'm so Utah. When you used to punch up my social medias for years, my address came up as East State Bone Marrow Transplant Center at LDS East State. I lived there for years, fighting leukemia. So, as you know, I videoed it. Written right into the contract. I had to take a brick by. The superintendent came to my house and knocked on the door right as I got out of the hospital. I weighed 119 pounds, sucked up, had a central line hanging at me. Can you come? What do you mean, can I come do it? I'm full of leukemia. It's written into the contract. You have to do it. Did they? Did they? So, here in Ogden for years, and I could rattle them off. When they tore down a Mormon church, they didn't tear them down. So, people bought them. They put them for sale. The one on is it 31st and Wall right as you get on the freeway? It's a grand building. So a pastor bought it. He's restored it. Oh, it's beautiful. It's incredible. That brick is carved out, is sliced. Oh, all clicks, no bricks. Now, it's a masterpiece. So the one up there on, I think it's about 33rd and about Porter, Jefferson. I did all that plaster work. A pastor bought it, turned it into another church. The one on Wilson Lane. I know those people. That beautiful white, that thing was grand, that beautiful church. They sold it. He moved into it as a house and turned it into I think it's a daycare. The one out in Warren, they bought it as a house. There's a lot of them that they make, can you imagine what you could do with this beautiful building? First, they come for the Craftsman. The Ogden, Utah Craftsman. Until about 1980 some of it started to come around apart. To the point now, you know, I never switched to the fake shit. I'm last of the Mohicans. I'm the laughing plaster in this state. What I'm in the country, but I got cancer, as you know. Open heart surgery twice. Again, like I said, something happened on the way to that place. They threw a nuclear energy flag in my face. So, I'll do more on this. I'm voting for Bobby Kennedy Jr. I shook his dad's hand. I'll do a piece up there at the university today on that because he's an anti-nuclear. They're asked, what's your stance on Martin? And he still uses the half nuclear. I can't believe these guys. Even him, a hard anti-nuclear. Well, I'm not against the technology, but until it's safe, and it's not safe, the insurance industry won't insure it. Yeah, the United States government insurance. It's called Price Anderson, the Congressional Act. I doubt he knows what that is. So I don't know if I'll vote for him or not, but he still won't say the F word, will he? What's the F word? Nobody will say it. Fukushima. So let's walk around this thing. So the brick is exquisite on this thing. They're going to tear it down. Why? So I can't do it. I've got cancer. I mean, I have a pacemaker. I mean, I'm coming back physically. You can get cruising here, take it down brick by brick. And if you don't believe me that's done, you go up into Shadow Valley, all those beautiful houses. I worked on all those. That really multicolored, beautiful brick. You know where that brick came from? Where the buildings were when they tore beautiful Ogden down and built the Ogden Mall. Of course, look what they've done. They tore the Ogden Mall down. We powered them. We took them down brick by brick by brick. You got hired X amount per brick. God, people, it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. They powered and then they resold. So, and then you know what? Have you priced brick lately? Have you seen brick? What it goes for? They'll throw this in the landfill. You know how much? Think about it. There's a lot of brick here. You're talking millions of freaking. This is probably $1 million brick job. Well, probably more now. The best one is Utah. I don't know. I spent a lot of time in Europe. So you go to Europe, and this is what we're turning into in Ogden. Because post-war, it got bombed out. It got flattened. All the beautiful, incredible architecture got bombed out. It got flattened. So they've post-war, they rebuilt. I mean, go to East Berlin. That's what we're starting to look like here. Square, boxy, cheaply built. The incredible craftsman's gone. I mean, you go to places in Europe and it blows your mind. You're like, what? And then you remember the artisans. Just think about what was bombed to the ground. That's why I like Vienna so much. Never got touched. By the way, Kiev's like that. The architecture in that part of the world the architecture here will take your breath away in Ogden, Utah. It's stunning. Leslie Hodson. These old Mormon churches. I go back to Weber High right here. Leslie Hodson. And then they made me go up on that hill. I hated it. I freaking hated it. That building was incredible. My grandpa was Abraham Hunsaker IV. He owned all the sand pits. I mean, that guy was working class, but I mean, he comes from the line Abe the First. Hunsakerville, the infamous, the Hunsaker Mill. Mormon church. Now, I'm Mormon, but I don't participate. I'm not non-Mormon. I'm not pro-Mormon. I really don't give a fuck as far as that goes. I mean, I give a fuck, but I'm not. Figure it out. There are people. If you don't agree with them, stop participating, which I did a long time ago. They still count me, but whatever. Things change. Things change. So let me send this then. Come on, you can do better. If you're going to tear it down, take it brick by brick by brick and repaddle it. Stop filling up the landfills, And I can't believe someone has not taken this opportunity. My old business. You know what kind of money you could make in this business right now? In the reclaimed brick and the reclaimed. You know what kind of wood's in these buildings? So I grew up in that beautiful, out on the Western Plain, the Mormon church in West Weber that I grew up. Oh, God, that building was stunning. Old growth benches, old growth wood floors. You could see they picked it up, and sacrament meeting would be in the evening. The sunlight would, you should have seen the stained glass. I'll never forget it. The stained glass would come through multiple cars in the afternoon. You could see they thought that out. That was incredible. I mean, that building used to blow my mind. It was so beautiful. I mean, talk about spiritual in there when the light would. It was so moving. It was incredible. And so they tore it down. They built this cinder block piece of shit that we have out there now. By that time, Capsule 97, I'm in there. I was a 10-year-old boy when that happened. It rattled me. Why would you do such a thing to this beautiful architecture? And so they used to sell them. They're all over Ogden. I mean, there's some grand ones. They did restore the one up there on 21st. Oh, go look at that building. That building is one of the grand buildings in this country, in this state. That building is stunning. You know, they're redoing the temple. I mean, it's so scaffolded up. I mean, man, I hear they took the frescoes out. First, they come for the Craftsman. Let's walk around this thing. And so they're tearing the one down on 7. And here, this is important. When I do a video, whatever, it doesn't matter if it gets 12 views because they're going to squash me. They're not going to touch me. I'm way too hot to handle. You know, the American populace is not concerned about the truth. I know that. You know, Fukushima is just the greatest event in human history. Kevin Blanch foretold, you know, all of what's going to happen. Son of Cassandra. Talk about a vision. So let's walk around this. But when I do a video, I always think, is this video relevant historically 10, 20, 50, 100 years from now? Oh boy. Because it's going to be erased. It's going to be gone. And they'll just tear it down and throw it in the landfill. I've watched them do it. They're doing it right now on the one on 7th Street. So this building this is one of the best. It's getting this graffiti across the brick already. And I'm noticing this all over Ogden. I'm like, I thought maybe they just stopped taking care of the lawn because they donated a bunch of water to help save the Great Salt Lake. I thought they did take out the historical marker. It's disturbing, right? It's really disturbing. You know, how about that marble right there? You know what this shit's worth right here? You know what that's worth? I can't believe the reclaimed. You know, you can blast that off, sandblast that off. This brick is exquisite. I'm telling you. I know brick like no other. These are pavers. And just like, I mean, this is the expensive brick. Now, the craftsmen in this town used to blow my mind. How good they were. Oh, I'm one of them. Who do you think trained me? I remember being in Italy, and this guy, or Austria, and they were, I kept walking by daily, and I says, I can plaster. They were plastering. He says, American, you know. I said, no. Who do you think taught me? I mean, these are all first and second generation Europeans. Finally got sick of hearing me. God, look at this. Look at this stone. You know what that stuff goes on the resale market? Do you understand what that's worth? Put that on freaking in the restoration on the websites and sell that right there. You know what that goes for? That's the real stuff. Oh, that's so exquisite. They're going to throw it in the dump. Why? Why is somebody not taking these opportunities? So anyway, God, what a building. It's beautiful, and I spent a lot of time in it. It's a grand one. Why tear it down? Oh, we need more cracker box palaces. You could turn this into housing. The quality is stunning here. These guys. So finally, the guy got sick of listening to me one morning. Just, come here, American boy, get up here. So I got up there. He had his mud boards on there. I didn't have work boots on. He gave me a hawk and trowel, big blade, trying to trick me. I don't care how big he hands me. I went across that mud board and that wall. He's like, oh. I remember he's just like that. He's watching. He says, I never seen anything like it. You're the best plasterer I ever saw. And I said, who do you think taught me? I have 10,000. I started plastering at 15. My grandpa, Abraham Hunsaker IV, owned those white sand pits up there. I learned in those pits, the adobe pits, and beautiful tile roofs. And, you know, he was filthy, stinking rich. He didn't believe in inherited wealth. Oh, and he was a staunch Mormon. He called himself the great Mormon socialist. He didn't leave me one penny. He says, no, you're not getting inherited anything. You learn to trade. And I did. And you go to college. You do both. You're going to your I got accepted. I told him I was going to Caltech, I remember once, because I had these scores off the egg. I was a gifted kid. Terrible student at Weber High. Just cried when they tore down the old Weber High. It's one of the great buildings in this country. This building is grand. The brick on this building is, oh, it's stunning. It's one of the more beautiful buildings in this city. And They're tearing it down. Why? So, you know, he says, no, you're not. I got accepted to Caltech. I got accepted to Berkeley, all of them. At a 16 years old. I was a horrible student at Woodward High. Hated it. Going up there on that, we used to call it Snob Hill. Well, they're not even snobs. I don't know what they are. It's an important video. And it's just as grand inside. All of them are. I've been in all of them. You know, I grew up here. Breaks my heart, to be honest with you. Every time they tear one of these down, I just cry. I saved the 1905 Masonic Temple in 2550. You know, they didn't even know what it was. I'm like, this is Leslie Hosson's first. He was just a young kid when he did this. This is his very first. It's the most historical building, one of them in the Western United States, besides the Mormon Temple. I hear bad rumors about what's going on inside there. I don't know, though. I don't know. But, you know, I'm a fresco artist. So I'm allowed to, you know. Hire a crew. Put a crew together. Come on. Just take it, pallet it, and sell it. It's not just about the land. You know, to build more Cracker Box palaces. These Cracker Box palaces. My daughter was the first tenant in that junkyard. My grandson, the old Leslie Hodson. That's been, how long is that Leslie Hodson masterpiece? The old Weaver State gym. We all grew up in it. Deseret Gym. Mormon Church owned that. Sold it. They didn't tear it down, but some hedge funds owned it for 20 years. They've done nothing with it. And they built those apartments in the old racquetball, the add-on. The sink fell out. Those things are... Go talk to anybody who lives in one of these Cracker Box palaces. First, I mean, it breaks my heart. First, they come for the Craftsman. If you don't think there's Craftsman, you don't know anything about that Mormon temple in Salt Lake. You don't talk Craftsman. Ho, 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 ho. I'll tell you a good story, then I'll turn this off. This is important. I'm going to send this to people I know inside there. You know, I come from infamous Mormon lines on all four. Moses Tracy, Ike Potter, freaking Abraham Hunsaker the First, the Statue of Old Town. I mean, my grandpa ran the church welfare, Leonard Blanch. It's heartbreaking. I don't know. I have so many stories. It's like Colette Spencer says, Kevin Blanch write a book. And I've tried to get his videos as much as I can of these being torn down. And but I'm traveling all over the world, trying to say that I'm the marine biologist. I'm probably the most famous marine biologist in California since Doc Ricketts, doing all the historic work. Marine biologist in the high desert of Utah. I mean, I don't know. I'll save that story for later. So, what do we got here? In Vienna. The craftsmanship in this town, stunning. Just like Europe. It's all gone. They're slowly, I mean, not slowly, they're quickly destroying it all. Tearing down incredible buildings. Remember Fred Meyer's, that structure? That structure was like Fort Knox. Tore it down how long ago? For what? It's just vacant. Cracker Box palaces. So, breaks my heart to see it go. This is a grand one. Really grand. It's one of the great brick jobs in this city. That's saying a lot. Ogden, Utah, in Art Deco decay. Passing decay. It's heartbreaking. First, they come for the Craftsman, and I won't stop there. So, who's the paper? That ain't a paper. They watch my videos and then they go do a piece. Well, it's a long ways to go there. Just watch a couple blocks right there. Little Soldier Drive. Who's he? Stan tuning.